Hello, my name is Tom Hitt. I am the developer and the owner of the CapturedDiscipline Safe. Please excuse the low-tech video. We are in process of upgrading our video capabilities. You clicked on our Google ad about the fact that when you defeat an unhealthy habit, you receive automatically a bonus. Your self-confidence will go up significantly. I thought of the idea of captured discipline many years ago when I was drinking too much. My mother and father, Uncle Will and Aunt Ruthie, to their many friends, both died of alcoholism. Divorced, each was living alone, and each died a very unpleasant alcoholic death. Hastening their deaths was the fact that they smoked 2 packs a day of Chesterfield unfiltered cigarettes. They died in their mid-70s. They should have lived at least 20 years longer, but they didn't. So I have always been very careful about my drinking. That's how Captured Discipline got started. There are literally hundreds of reasons to use a Captured Discipline Safe. We know that you will find what you're looking for here on CapturedDiscipline.com. The Captured Discipline Safe, here is one, is a time lock safe. You can set it for any amount of time, lock time, from 1 minute to 999 days. You can set it for any amount of minutes, any amount of days, any amount of hours. You can put all your cigarettes, for example, in the safe. You could put at least 4 cartons of cigarettes in the safe and your open pack of cigarettes, and then set the safe for 26 minutes and come back and take out 1 cigarette and set it again for 26 minutes. The next day you would put 27 minutes between each cigarette, and so forth and so on, until all of a sudden you are a non-smoker. You can put all the alcoholic beverages in your home in this safe. Even though all the alcoholic beverages in your home may be far larger in mass than the interior dimensions of this safe. So how do you do that? By putting all the alcoholic beverages in your home in a padlock key, and all kinds of padlockable containers at Home Depot and Lowe's. This is a medium-sized one. This is a little one. There's one even smaller than this. This is $5 or $6. This one, $15. You can get them 20, 25. Obviously, you can buy a big monster chest. I have one over there, which I use for Captured Discipline purposes. It's about this wide by this much off the floor and holds all kinds of stuff. Then you simply padlock. You put into these containers, padlockable containers, whatever it is. We were talking about alcoholic beverages. Then you padlock it and put the key to the padlock in the Captured Discipline Safe and set the lock time you want. You can put just one item, many individual items, in a Captured Discipline Safe. I think this is the biggest size of this particular brand of chips. There might be one a little bit bigger. It fits in here. You take out a nice handful, bowlful of chips and put the rest in here and set it for 24 hours, and you have chips in the house, but you can't get at them. Chips are my downfall. And beer. Or again, you could use a padlockable storage container for all the foods in the house that you want to stay away from for the next 12, 18, 24 hours. You do the same thing. You get a container that's large enough to hold the items that you want to time lock, and you put them in there, and you lock up the key to that padlock in your Captured Discipline Safe. Now, if you get a small container like this, and again, this will fit easily I'm tempted to retape, but the show must go on. You can get a smaller one than this, but this fits easily in most freezers, and the smaller one for sure fits. And then you spoon out, you know what brand this is, you spoon out maybe a third, a quarter, and you put the rest in here, padlock it. Padlockable means it has one of these, you know, the two things meet, and you put the padlock in. And so now your ice cream's in there, and you put it in the freezer, and you put the key to the padlock and the CapturedDiscipline safe, and you set it for 24 hours. So you've got lots of wonderful, you know what kind of ice cream in your freezer, but you can't get at it. A lot of people would say, well, why? People could just get in the car and go out and get ice cream, get cigarettes, get beer, get hard liquor, get whatever. And thousands of our customers have said to us that it doesn't happen. You're in your home, you're comfortable, and you would feel self-humiliated if you got up, got out of your jammies, got in the car, drove to wherever, drugstore, liquor store, grocery store, picked up some ice cream and drove back home. So it works, and you have to find out for yourself. Now, sadly, in the United States, perhaps more than any country in the world, we have a problem with abusing prescription drugs and non-prescription drugs. So obviously you could put a lot of little bottles of pills in here and lock it up for whatever length of time you need to time lock drugs that you may be abusing. You can put in here, now I'll just start to ask you to use your imagination. You could put in a CapturedDiscipline safe the mouse to your computer, the cord that connects your computer to the internet, the power cord to your computer, if it has a power cord, and you could probably think of some other things so that you could spend less time on the computer. Computers are a wonderful thing. We all use them. I live on a computer, but there are times where I got to lock up the things that make my computer run and give myself 1, 2, 3, 4 hour break. Imagine a television. You could, if the television has a power cord that pulls out of the back, some do, some don't, you take that power cord that pulls out, you put it in the CapturedDiscipline safe, and you give yourself or your family or your children perhaps some time off from watching television. If the power cord goes into the back of the TV in a permanent basis, then you take the end of the power cord and come over here and lift it up, and you can put it over the top edge, and there's enough room in here that you can close this, and then you can set the time lock, and you can't watch that television. And the CapturedDiscipline safe is portable, so you can go sit it right next to a television set and disable it, if you will, for 1, 2, 3 hours, 24 hours, the whole weekend, whatever you want to do. One of my favorites, and I use it for this purpose, is take your debit cards and your credit cards and put them in the safe, your checkbook, all but whatever cash you need for the weekend. You know, figure out what do I need for sure this weekend, because I'm not going to have these. Put credit, debit card, checkbooks, anything that can get you money in here, close it, and say it's Friday morning and it's 7 a.m. and you're motivated not to use these cards all weekend long till, let's say, 3 o'clock Monday morning. So I think that's about 69 hours. Put them in, time lock it for 69 hours. There's no way you can use your credit and your debit card and your checkbook until Monday morning at 3 in the morning while you're sound asleep. But when you wake up at 7, the safe has unlocked and you can go in and start your week with your credit cards back in your hand. There are literally hundreds of ways to use a CapturedDiscipline safe. We've heard, we don't have time here today, but we've heard some wonderful ones. A lady in Portland, Oregon, addicted to knitting, and her husband would go to work and her kids would go to school, and she wouldn't work all day, she'd knit all day. And then with about 2 hours to go until the family came home, she'd run around and go shopping and clean the house and so forth and so on. So whatever you can imagine, a CapturedDiscipline safe has probably been used for that. excuse me, probably saw this. John Grisham is one of my favorite authors, and when he comes out with a new book, this one's fairly new, I can't put it down. But if I had to put it down, if I had to get to work on my business, Captured Discipline, put the book, the novel, whatever you're hooked on in the safe, set it for 24 hours, and you cannot read that book for the next 24 hours. I bet you already know, based on what you just saw here, exactly how you're going to use your Captured Discipline safe. Please feel free to email us with any of your questions. We like dialogue, back and forth dialogue. Thank you for visiting CapturedDiscipline.com today, and I will be seeing you on future videos. Thank you very much.